What is it like to grow out your hair? Mhm. And what is it like to grow out your hair? Well, I've been growing mine out since September of 2019, and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna grow this out for as long as I possibly can until I get sick of it. And I'm not sick enough of it yet. It's been a year and 2 months, and well, I like it. It's not too bad, but the process is grueling. If you can get past that 4, 5, 6 month mark, you can do it. When I started doing this in September, I was like, all right, like I've seen all the people with long hair, like people have like man buns and like, you know, I'm I've always thought, oh, like why, like what does it feel like? How does it feel to have long hair? Like, girls have long hair, so why can't a dude have long hair? It's something that I've always been like, well, I've always had short hair, so I'm never gonna know if I like having long hair until I grow it out, and so that was the decision. That was what was going through my mind in September last year. So it really was a mindset to have from the beginning. That's super important, I think, is having a mindset like that going into it, that you're going to stick through this even if you don't like it, because you'll never know if you like it or not until you get to this point where it's long. So the 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 thing I recommend if you're thinking about it is to stop, say, hey, what do I want to get out of this? Do I just want to see if it's long, if it looks good on me, if it makes me kind of more stylish. If I don't want to go get a haircut, I don't have to go get a haircut, you know? So decide what you want to do, decide why you want to do it. Then the tricky part is patience, is, being accepting of your own style of hair, and it's going to get crazy. Around so around the let me see, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So about at the 7 month mark, 7, 8, probably 7. That's when it gets hard. That's the point where it's right in between. It's not, it's not short where it's not in your face all the time, but it's right at this level where you can't pull it back. You can't do this. But you can't fly it up like normal if you have short hair. You can't fly it up. The sides get all crazy, right? So at that point, gel is your best friend, and there are definitely hairstyles that you can do while your hair is in that weird intermediate stage between short and long, or medium and long. Um, there's plenty of examples online of people who have done it and who do it well. Um, but it is a challenging time because the hair doesn't really sit back on its own. It's not like heavy enough, basically. So it wants to just kind of fall forward, especially if you've got hairstyle when your hair was short. Your hair is not used to being back all the time. Your hair is kind of forward. So your hair's not used to it. And so when it's in that weird intermediate stage, it kind of wants to fan out and be in all sorts of crazy directions, and kind of looks like a mop, right? It's just kind of floppy and gets in the way. But if you can get over that, that's at the 7 month mark or so, for me at least. If you can get past that, wait it out another month or 2 months, that's when the patience really kicks in. That's when you got to really, you got to double down and say, hey, remember why I did this? This is something that I really wanted to try out and see, oh, like this is something that I really like. And I'm, maybe I don't like my hair right now, but I know that once it gets a little bit longer, I'll be able to do some more stuff with it. So it's it's definitely worth pursuing, and I think that's just something you got to keep in mind when it gets to that annoying stage when your hair is in that weird, you know, intermediate stage. So by the 9 month, 10 month mark, you can get to this point where you can pull it back, you can start, you know, keeping it managed more. Because like this doesn't look too bad. Like you get the sides all, you know, maybe you get a little gel or something, you get it wet, and you make it look slick. But once it gets to that point where you can manage it and kind of tie it together or float, put it all back, that way it's not all flying out the sides and it's kind of all behind you. That is the point where you start to see, oh wow, I know why this is worth it now, because I had to wait, and yes, I had to be patient, and yes, I had to suffer a little bit when, it was in that weird stage, or it was at a length that I didn't really love it. But that's the beautiful thing about it. Your hair will keep growing always. You don't have to worry about it, and you can kind of just sit back and enjoy the show and just let it do its thing. So once it gets to that point where you can kind of manage it, it's a lot easier on you. It's a lot easier. You don't have to worry so much about containing it, because you have, this. Once you get to the point where you can kind of, even if you can't, even if you start, if you get like hairs that go like that and they fly away or whatever, it's still a relief that you're able to just, you're doing whatever, you're at the grocery store, and your hair's all messy, it's in your face. Well, you can just pull it back, you know whenever you want. And it's a lot easier to just do that, right? Because it's just, oh, boom, I can just solve the problem real quick. Some things I would definitely recommend, though, if you're going to do this, is invest in a good gel. Invest in, what do I have? So I have this pomade. What is it made of? Coconut oil. It's like an oil-based pomade. So it's by this company called Malkme. Anyways, I'm not recommending this brand or anything, but I like this because it gives the hair like a nice sleek shine, and then it also holds it right in place. I don't love the like clay stuff, the hard stuff, because it doesn't feel very good in my hair. My hair is naturally pretty greasy, so when it's hard like that, I do not like it. But I definitely recommend this if you want that kind of sleeker, greasier look while also keeping your hair in place. I don't have any in right now, but it's called pomade, and it's coconut oil based. Definitely recommend getting it unscented, though. That was one mistake that I made. You get it scented, and then your whole head smells like perfume, and you don't want that. Usually, I mean, you probably have cologne or something else that, or, something else that you like to put on. You don't want your head smelling like chemicals, and then, you got cologne on, and it's just all weird to the nose. So definitely unscented. I would go with unscented, but this is really good. You know your hair better than anybody else, though, so if you get something, definitely recommend this, though, for that intermediate stage when your hair is doing all crazy sorts of stuff. What I usually would do is I would get out of the shower and my hair's still damp, and I would put some in and then keep it all contained. So the next thing I would recommend is maybe at like that 6 month, 7 month, 8 month mark. You can every like few months, but get a little bit of a trim, because your hair grows out for a long time. Maybe I'll get one soon, but if your hair goes out for a long time, you start to get these ends, the split ends, whatever. They don't really bother me. They don't look too bad, especially if you wash and condition your hair. Usually it's okay. But everyone's hair is different. So if you start to see your hair getting really maybe it's getting pretty ratty at the end. Maybe it's not looking so healthy anymore. You can see if it loses its color a little bit, if the ends start to get super split and they're not like, you shampoo and condition and they're not looking so nice afterwards, still after you condition it, then maybe you go get a trim. It's not bad for you, and it's not going to slow your progress down either too much. I mean, you're only cutting off half an inch, quarter an inch. So definitely consider that. And it might actually give your hair a little bit better look too. The other thing I definitely recommend, most guys don't usually condition their hair at the beginning, when they have short hair, I mean. So a really good thing that I, started doing was shampooing and conditioning your hair. And so, conditioning it also helps it look better just on a regular basis. Right now my hair looks kind of crazy, so pardon me. But it gives it a nice oily feel, and also, I mean, you shampoo it and you condition it, and it's, not knotty or anything like that. So it really does help with hair upkeep, and, do that every few days or so. Yeah. So my journey with my long hair has been pretty awesome. I have used it to, kind of track personal growth. Maybe about a year ago, I was in one place, and 6 months later, that hair was looking pretty crazy, and I was like working, and it was quarantine, and like, so I was like, oh boy, like, I need to just cut this because it's another pain in the ass, right? But keeping with it and having that persistence is actually gonna make you love your hair even more than you did before, because you're putting this effort into it. You're not just for me it was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the barber or whatever, and just have some stranger cut my hair, every month or whatever. And half the time I'd be pleased with it. The other half of the time I'd be like, oh, this is not really what I wanted so much before. So with that, it was always, oh, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. And with this, it's like, well, you are set with what you've got. So you let it grow out, and you kind of, it's helped me kind of learn to love my hair for what it is. And it's also, really, it promoted my self-image. You just learn to slow down, be patient, and when your hair is growing out, when it's coming to fruition, to this long-haired state that that you want it to be, you just come to accept it for what it is, and that is a beautiful thing. And so that kind of has applied to my hair, but it's also applied to like other parts of my life. So I think it's been a really helpful tool to self-discovery, or keeping a certain degree of self-awareness, and keeping tabs on my feelings about myself. So I think it's been super, super helpful. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is Zachary Tiedemann, signing off.